Let's take a step back into the Kingdom of Condorus, where the demonically besieged world of Sanctuary needs heroes to rid the presence of Diablo. Are you up for the challenge, or will you run away at the horrific sight of the Lord of Terror himself? Here's our look at Diablo 3. Blizzard Entertainment outdid themselves with the 2012 release of Diablo 3, the third installment of the Diablo franchise, which began its adventures back in 1996. The new skills, classes, combat style, and overall design has changed the entire atmosphere of the game. Compared to the first game's pixelated design and the second version's slightly more detailed view, Diablo 3's design and layout is over the top with beautiful graphics and mind-blowing details. Along with its fantastic design, Diablo 3 has also incorporated several new elements into the gameplay. Skill runes, for example, give every player control over their skills and powers, changing elemental damage, area of effect, and even the overall appearance of the ability. Followers are also a new addition, allowing players to include a Templar, Enchantress, or Scoundrel on their bounties and adventures throughout Sanctuary. Updated crafting abilities are also incorporated, allowing players to create their own armor and weapons and even jewel them to provide better stats and power. Combat has changed in the best way, in my opinion. In the first and second installments of Diablo, combat was a simple left or right click of your mouse, nothing else. In Diablo 3, however, keyboard shortcuts are available to allow a wider expanse of actions so that both defensive and offensive abilities are easily accessible. In terms of actually playing the game, several more things have changed. One of these changes lies in the variety of monsters you face and in the item drops you receive from putting them out of their misery. The creatures you face are much more distinct compared to the other versions of Diablo. They all have their own destructive abilities that are unique to them, with different types of creatures ranging from normal to champions to rares. Blizzard also added legendary items and specialized equipment depending on your class, so that each character you make has a different personality. Overall difficulty levels of the game have also been included. Instead of just a normal or hard mode, there are different levels of so-called torments, which get increasingly more difficult the higher you go, reaching all the way up to Torment 13. Despite Diablo 3's wonderful output, there is still much criticism about the game. One of the biggest things, which I actually kind of agree with, is that legendary item drops are so rare and often disappointing. I mean, it's understandable why they're rare drops, they're legendary, but even when one does drop from a boss or another monster, the stats are actually fairly low, or you have something of lower value that does more damage and has better stats. As you progress through the game and increase difficulty, there are better item drops, but a good portion of them aren't worth much time until you get to adventure mode. The Kingdom of Condorus seems it will forever be infested with demons and the undead, and there's no end in sight with Diablo still roaming the world of Sanctuary. We at Heads Up Display give Diablo 3 a 4 out of 5 stars, and are excited to see what Blizzard's next entry in the series will be like. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to like and subscribe for more fun videos like this. I'm Rachel, and this has been Heads Up Display.